Alright, today we're going to make use of a rarely seen mechanic, which is the ability to trigger the counter pets in the shop. Now there aren't many pets that fall into this category. We've got Vulture, which is going to be the star of this video. Then we've also got Saiga Antelope, Secretary Bird, Wolverine, Grizzly Bear. I feel like there might be another one that I'm forgetting. But only a few of these can work in shop. You know, Grizzly doesn't work in shop obviously because it targets opponents. And Saiga Antelope does not either because you cannot generate trumpets in shop. However, Vulture, Secretary Bird and Wolverine can be triggered in shop. Now Vulture clearly targets opposing units, so why would we want to set it off in shop? Well, we're not going to set it off. All we want to do is add 1 to the count for the Vulture preemptively. So if we feint something in the shop every single turn, the Vulture will always start the battle with 1 out of 2 for its counter. And that could be very useful because it means we're going to get our snipes earlier. This is actually something that didn't used to work. In previous versions of the game, if you triggered a feint in shop, the Vulture would show the counter increasing, but then nothing would actually happen in the battle, it would just reset. But this was on my request list multiple times in the past, and eventually the developers made the change. I'm sure other people had probably requested the exact same change as I did, but it was very nice to see. It doesn't really come up very often in many games, but I decided here that I was going to manufacture this particular run just to demonstrate it. So we get the Deer Lord, and extremely good unit, as I've mentioned in other videos recently. And that's going to give us our free feint every turn without the need to try and find pill. Of course you could use Mantis as well if you prefer, but I also like the fact that you get the free bacon from the Deer Lord, which allows you to trigger some of the food pets in the shop, like Flounder and Gelada, which I've been on a Flounder and Gelada buying spree for like the last 3 or 4 months. Looks like we're going to lose here though, I think. Yeah, not quite enough stats on the unit at the back, even though Quetzalcoatlus does have a very good starting stat line. So we take the level up on turn 7, hoping for Vulture. We don't get it, but that's okay. There's a turtle in shop, and I think at this point I'm going to take the slug as well. Okay, we actually end up selling the stoat and getting a slug too. So I think at this point, yeah, we should just get rid of Quetzalcoatlus and then use the bacon to trigger the Gelada. When you're getting free food like that, the efficiency on Gelada and Flounder just skyrockets. And they're already strong units as is. So we feint the turtle, we get the melon. A lot of the time when I play Deer Lord or Mantis, I try to start games without having turtle in the pack. But oftentimes it just feels like it's required. And I think honestly when you're playing units like Mantis and Deer Lord, it's better just to have as many possible beneficial feints in your pack as you can get. So taking Platypus base stats this late, generally you're going to get it's going to get sniped by dolphins in a lot of runs. But when you're playing the 4 squad, it doesn't matter too much because there's going to be space for both of them to spawn. Although this team didn't have any snipers, so we're absolutely fine. You do tend to find that if you're on a pretty early winning trajectory, like we're on 5 trophies here, still 4 hearts, you do face a lot of leech teams. You know, people that have got their leech set up very early on. So I think we could use Flounder here, although I'm not sure if I'd bother doing it. We don't necessarily need, we don't really need higher levels on any of these units. It's just the Vulture that we care about. Now this is a bit awkward. We're going to have to play the Anteater at the front, because we don't want it at the back and not having anything to buff. Building up a very large amount of bacon stocked in the shop too. So here's another one of these leech camel teams. I think, the leech is going to instant kill through the melon, but it doesn't matter because we have the level 2 slug, which is going to be enough to knock out the pheasant. And actually this is a rare occurrence. We get level 3 golden beetle, so we can actually feed it 3 bacon and then sell it for the triple value. So we go up to 22 gold, which is absolutely incredible for a level 1 griffin. And then we'll take Foam Sword. That means we can add Pangle into the list of auto feint units. And there we go, there's the Vulture. I would have been okay saving, keeping Mosasaurus for a bit longer, but we are on 7 trophies turn 10, so we need to move things along if we're going to get the setup that we want. So now you're going to see this work as intended. The Pangolin gets knocked out, and the Vulture counter goes up. So in previous versions nothing would happen, but now we'll see that as soon as the Anteater gets fainted here, the Vulture snipes back. And we can definitely improve that if we take one of the auto-fainting units at the start of battle, then the Vulture will immediately snipe instead of having to wait for anything. So that's the goal. Now we just need to find one of those units. There are a few different options. Of course, it can also just happen that we get sniped like we did in that previous battle. But I'm going to roll down looking for something in particular, and there it is, Sneaky Egg. So freezing a base stats tier 1 on turn 11 with the intention of buying it on turn 12 is pretty unconventional, I would say, especially when it's not a buy-sell. Unfortunately here we run into one of the villains of customs who has been playing this same combo over and over. Although actually I guess in this scenario it doesn't matter too much because we did have 4 hearts and we would quite like to see this combo go off more than just one turn. So we'll buy sell, and I think at this point I'm going to have to get rid of the Anteater. This does show the one downside of stocking all the bacon in the shop is that you don't have the shop space to find the pill and therefore get the value back from the Anteater. But we find the Mammoth, which is the best possible feint target for the Deer Lord. And then I also freeze Blue Jay. I thought this would be quite a fun one. And a very rare scenario here where we block off the whole shop because of the sheer amount of frozen items. Also very strange scenario here where they have a bar guest which overwrites the crisp on the back unit and therefore spares our Vulture. That was incredibly lucky that that happened. So we're also going to feed this Blue Jay 6 bacons. Actually, I could probably feed the Blue Jay again, but I don't want any of the buffs going onto the unit that spawned from the popcorn, which I think actually would trigger first. And here we go, we feint the Blue Jay, and we get plus 6/6 on 3 units. Unfortunately, one of them did hit the Sneaky Egg, but not the biggest deal. And then here on turn 13, we face one of the other dedicated villains of customs running this ultra broken axolotl good dog team. I guess it does make for a funny clip though. Clearly we have no chance against it. But yeah, axolotl still public enemy number 1. So we are starting to run out of hearts, and I'm a little bit concerned given that we have a level 1 tier 1 on our team. And, you know, the benefit of this combo is pretty minimal anyway. We're only really getting, you know, we're not really getting any extra snipes as such. We're just getting snipes a little bit more quickly. And on turn 14, we face this fellow Deer Lord team. They've wisely been playing double rabbit to take advantage of all the free bacon. So we get destroyed there, and from a position of having 4 hearts, we're now down to our last one. So now I need to look for something else to feint. I could also look for popcorn or something to put on the Sneaky Egg. If you put popcorn on it, then you're going to move up to a 5 squad immediately at start of battle. But instead here I find a Mammoth, so that's going to be the better option for sure. The Deer Lord is almost at 50 attack. And it matches me with this German Shepherd team. I think this person's been in a few videos recently. This time though, the snipe actually hits the wolf, and so they lose out on a bunch of summons. I suppose it depends what they get from the Orca here. The Slug manages to get the knockout and just survives on 1 HP. And then I think, yeah, it was a 50-50 there whether or not we were going to tie or win. And the Vulture luckily hits the unit in the back, and the 4 squad gets the victory. Although this is a very niche interaction, I think there's quite a few things you can do with this. What about double leech with Wolverine? Has someone done that before? Let me know in the comments below.